At some point, you've probably heard about or been notified that your data was included in a data breach. I've been notified of two data breaches impacting my immediate family twice in the last month. And just before this recording in August 2024, the company National Public Data confirmed that possibly billions of individuals' information has been exposed, including their social security numbers. Yep, billions. So, I'm making a series of videos around steps you can take to improve your safety and protect against identity theft. In this video, we'll focus on your social security number. When I was younger, social security numbers seemed to be used for everything. It was my driver's license number and college ID. I have mine memorized. Besides my phone number and my wife's phone number, I don't have any other numbers memorized. Today, social security numbers are just as important, if not more so. What has changed is a rise in identity theft. Someone could use your social security number to open new credit cards, take out personal loans, car loans, or mortgages, file fraudulent tax returns, charge medical service to your insurance, create fake IDs, commit crimes using you as an alias, apply for jobs, or even drain your bank accounts if they also know your banking info. Whether or not your social security number was leaked, you can take steps to help protect yourself from identity theft related to your social security number. First, at the credit bureaus, you can freeze credit checks, place credit check alerts, and review your credit reports for anything you don't recognize. Second, obtain IRS Identity Protection PINs to guard against fraudulent tax return filings. Next, you can check activity and see your Social Security benefits at the My Social Security site. Finally, is registering with an identity monitoring service. Simple, right? That might sound like a lot, but we'll review each of these, and you can find links to all of these resources in the notes section. As I just mentioned, to protect yourself, you'll be making a few new accounts. It is very important to use complex and unique passwords for all of your accounts. Better yet, use a password manager to create and remember those passwords for you. If your email and password is included in a data breach, and you use the same password or similar passwords at other sites, that lets hackers easily access your other accounts. Keep an eye out for a future video on account safety. In this section, we'll review credit bureaus, credit freezes, and credit alerts. Credit bureaus, also known as credit reporting agencies, collect and organize financial information about consumers and businesses. The three major credit bureaus in the United States are Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. They create credit reports and compile credit scores. Creditors check with these reporting agencies before they offer or extend credit lines such as credit cards, car loans, mortgages, or bank loans. By creating an account at each of the credit bureaus, you can request freezes and alerts on credit checks against you, review your credit report, and check your credit score. One of the most important ways you can prevent identity theft is with a credit freeze. This prevents new credit checks, which are usually required by a lender or card issuer, before approving a line of credit in your name. Next is credit fraud alerts. Fraud alerts let you add a phone number to your account and warn potential creditors that they should contact you to confirm the request and verify your identity before extending credit. Last but not least is your credit report. You can get a free credit report once a year. If you've been a victim of a data breach or identity theft, you may be entitled to more frequent reports. Make sure to check your credit reports carefully for any suspicious activity. Now let's look at each credit bureau site, focusing on enabling credit freezes and fraud alerts. You will want to set credit freezes, fraud alerts, and check your credit reports at all three credit bureaus, as they are all independent of each other. That can be done for free and does not require a paid subscription or paid services. Equifax and TransUnion make it very easy to do this for free. After much searching, I found those free features on the Experian site as well, and will help you find them too. All three credit bureaus offer additional paid subscription services, such as identity monitoring and additional alerting. To create accounts at the credit bureaus, they require your full name, address, email, mobile phone number, birth date, and last four digits of your social security number. First, let's look at TransUnion. Once you've registered and created an account, you will see the TransUnion homepage. The homepage includes direct links to credit freeze, fraud alert, and credit report options. As you can see, the site is easy to navigate to all three options. Next is Equifax. The Equifax site is very straightforward and easy to use. Once you're logged in, you'll be on the Member Center home screen and presented with an easy-to-navigate dashboard. You can quickly find the credit freeze, fraud alert, and credit report options. Last is Experian. After creating an account and logging in, I found that Experian pushes upgrade subscription services much more than the other two. You can add credit freezes with their basic free plan, but not easily. On a positive note, the Experian credit report is easy to review. It gives an easy-to-read dashboard that can be expanded to focus on each section of interest. I suggest you check each section. The Experian credit freeze is not easy to find. Click on Protection at the top of the site. In the center, click Experian credit file unlocked. A panel will open to the right, and scroll to the bottom to find a link to the security freeze options page. Likewise, fraud alert details were very hard to find. Near the security freeze link is a link to learn more about the differences between credit lock and security freeze. That brings you to an Experian credit lock page. Scroll down to the frequently asked questions section and expand the question. What's the difference between a security freeze, credit lock, and a fraud alert? Scroll very far down in that topic to find the telephone number to call to set a fraud alert with Experian. I'd like to give you that number, but it really is best that you get it directly from their website. I will include a link to that page in the video details. As frustrating as I found the site, Experian does offer two-step verification. To enable it, hover on the user account icon in the upper right corner of the website and select your account. I was surprised that Equifax and TransUnion didn't offer a two-factor authentication option. It is an important feature for all accounts, and even more so for sites containing your financial information. That brings us to the IRS and Social Security website accounts. As you would expect, both agencies require proof of identification. Authentication for both sites is allowed with ID.me or Login.gov accounts. An ID.me account requires an email address, financial history, ID such as driver's license or passport, and social security number. If you have a government account or job, you may have a Login.gov account. The IRS site allows you to create an identity protection PIN. You can find the identity protection PIN options on the profile page. An identity protection PIN adds an extra layer of security to your tax return. This PIN is required when you file your tax return and you request a new PIN for each tax year. You can easily request a new PIN if it is lost between the time you request it and when you file your taxes. The Social Security Administration's website is secure.ssa.gov. This allows you to monitor your earnings records as well as download your Social Security statements and benefits verification letter, access a retirement calculator, and replace your Social Security card. I'm not retired, so I don't see any payment activity, nor do I know if it would show that. But since the ID.me or Login.gov account required for the IRS site will grant you access to the Social Security site, there is no reason not to log in and review your information there. That brings us to identity monitoring services. These services scan for suspicious activity related to your personal information and accounts. They can also provide advice on how to protect yourself. These services will monitor names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, passports, bank accounts, credit card numbers, social security numbers, health insurance numbers, and more. They often monitor the dark web, which might include bought and sold hacker lists from data breaches. If they find your information in their scans, they will alert you and often give advice on remediation. If you have been notified that your data was included in a company's data breach, that company may offer free identity monitoring as part of their remediation. That may lead to you having access to more than one identity monitoring service. Instead of adding all of your information to any and all monitoring services that you have access to, it might be better to select one that you like the most and use that. Spreading your information across multiple services could be a risk. There is a chance that any of these service providers might also get hacked. Consider going through the initial setup of the monitoring services available to you and adding information such as name, address, phone, and email to start. Evaluate how they work for you and select one for long-term use. While I can't recommend a specific identity monitoring service, I will include affiliate links to the top 5 identity monitoring services at the time of this recording, as well as the credit bureaus, which also offer this service. So, to recap, you can create accounts with the 3 U.S. credit bureaus to check your credit reports and freeze an alert on credit checks made against you. Creating an account with the IRS lets you create an identity protection PIN to secure your tax filings. And consider using identity monitoring to alert you if your information was compromised in a data breach or is being sold or traded on the dark web. It might seem like a lot, but taking these steps can go a long way in protecting yourself and your family from identity theft. I know that most people aren't interested in cybersecurity, keeping up on the latest data breaches, don't want to deal with them, and really just want to live their lives. I make these videos with my extended family in mind, hoping to make it a bit easier for them and anyone interested to protect themselves.